like a lot of people, I stumbled into a career in internal communication. Before that, I was doing an administrative role, and then I sort of moved into a marketing role. And then I had the opportunity to get my first role as an internal communications professional. I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. But while there were a lot of transferable skills from my time in marketing and in other roles, a lot of it was quite new. But what I realized is that I really enjoy this. I enjoy the things that are quite unique about internal comms. Like, for example, you have very clearly defined stakeholders, and it's part of your role to build relationships across the organization. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. So I was doing a business partnering role in the Foreign Office, and I really cut my teeth there. Don't get too hung up on job titles. To take an example, internal communications manager, that can mean very different things at different organizations, depending on the structure, the context, all those sort of things. It can be very senior and can be the sort of most senior internal comms person in an organization, or it can be more of a junior role where you're managing a service. So instead of thinking too much about job titles, think about what it is you want to achieve in your career and what skills and experience you need to get there, and have a laser focus on that. The biggest lesson I've learned working in internal communications is don't try and put square pegs into round holes. And what I mean by that is, if you've had a channel that's worked well in the past with a different audience, or in particular, a different person delivering it, and don't think it's going to necessarily work well with somebody else. For example, a vlog might have worked really well with a different leader or a different organization. If it doesn't come naturally and authentically to the new person that you're working with, don't try and force it, because I think internal comms is all about being natural and authentic and not really just echoing that corporate voice. The best advice I've received about working in internal communication is work hand in glove with your external communications team, so your colleagues in comms and marketing and those kind of teams as well, because the way you tell stories is of course different, but it's very important that messaging is aligned, and what they're hearing and what they're seeing and what they're communicating to their external audiences, your internal audiences are likely in a lot of cases going to need to hear about it as well. So really put in that time to understand their priorities, how they work, and how you can work well together. I think the biggest barrier I've had to overcome, and it's not just me, this is a cross-industry challenge, is around the perceptions of internal communications. I think if you look at who it is that gets promoted to being, for example, a head of comms and marketing role, it's almost always people from a press background still. And I think that's somewhat reflective of the mindset of very senior people in organizations, and they still sort of see press as that is what comms is, and anything sort of beyond that, including internal comms, is a nice to have. However, things are definitely changing in that area. I think perceptions are changing, and a lot of that's because of the hard work of organisations like the IoIC, and a lot of forward-thinking organisations really saw the value of internal communications, particularly around the COVID-19 pandemic, and things are beginning to change, and I think the professional standards are just getting better and better every year.